Geoffrey Chaucer's Troilus and Criseyde is widely acknowledged as one of his most impactful literary contributions, alongside his renowned work The Canterbury Tales. Written in rhyme royal, a distinctive stanzaic form introduced by Chaucer himself, the poem comprises 7-line stanzas composed in iambic pentameter. This poetic structure not only became the foundation for the Spenserian stanza popularized by Edmund Spenser, but it also influenced poets like William Shakespeare and William Wordsworth. Chaucer penned Troilus and Criseyde in Middle English during the 1380s. Much like Shakespeare's works that followed, Chaucer's writing possessed the unique ability to resonate with both the general populace and the aristocracy at court. Consequently, courtly romances such as Troilus and Criseyde gained popularity across different social classes. Although the story had been previously recounted in France and Italy, Chaucer's rendition is characterized by a somewhat lesser degree of cynicism and misogyny. Over the ensuing centuries, many authors drew upon Chaucer's version of the tale. Notably, Shakespeare adapted it for the stage in his play Troilus and Cressida. The narrative unfolds within the context of the Trojan War. A Trojan prophet named Calchas predicts the fall of Troy and flees the city out of fear. He switches his allegiance to the Greeks, abandoning his daughter, Criseyde. The Trojans harbor resentment towards Calchas for his betrayal, and this animosity extends to Criseyde as well. In her interactions with Troilus, a Trojan warrior, Criseyde unintentionally incurs the wrath of the god Cupid, also known as Eros, by jesting about love. Cupid decides to chastise Troilus by causing him to fall deeply in love with Criseyde. Pandarus, Criseyde's uncle, hatches a plan to unite the two. He assists Troilus in composing a letter to Criseyde and orchestrates a rendezvous between them at a social gathering. Pandarus fabricates a story about Troilus's illness to evoke Criseyde's compassion. At the event, Troilus confesses his affection for Criseyde, only to receive a somewhat tepid response from her. Pandarus orchestrates another meeting between Troilus and Criseyde, during which Troilus faints and Criseyde confesses her love for him. Pandarus then arranges for them to spend a night together, during which they experience a fleeting moment of happiness. In the Greek encampment, Calchas longs for his daughter's presence. He negotiates with the Greeks for an exchange, offering the Greek prisoner Antenor in return for Criseyde. However, not everyone in Troy is amenable to this proposition. Hector, the prince of Troy, and Troilus both object, though Troilus keeps his dissent hidden. Instead, he suggests to Criseyde that they elope, but she deems this unwise. Rather than eloping, Criseyde swears to Troilus that she will leave her father after the exchange and return to Troy. She promises to reunite with Troilus within 10 days. However, he departs with a sense of foreboding. Upon her return to the Greek camp and her father, Criseyde realizes that fulfilling her promise to Troilus might prove difficult. Troilus writes her letters, but her responses are disinterested. On the anticipated 10th day, instead of returning to Troy as planned, Criseyde meets with Diomede, who begins to court her. Meanwhile, both Pandarus and Troilus wait for Criseyde's return. Eventually, Pandarus comprehends that she won't come back, and it takes Troilus a bit longer to reach the same conclusion. When he does, he expresses his frustration with fortune. This pivotal juncture in the story likely inspired the phrase, "all good things must come to an end," encapsulating the plot's trajectory. At this tragic moment, the narrator digresses from the narrative to express remorse for the portrayal of women. While Chaucer's portrayal of Criseyde is more compassionate than past depictions that paint her as fickle, she remains easily swayed by others, including her uncle Pandarus. The narrator recounts Troilus' demise on the battlefield and then diverges from the narrative once more, advocating the supremacy of Christianity over paganism. The poem is dedicated to moral Gower and philosophical Strode, and concludes by beseeching Christ's mercy. While Gower's identity is relatively obscure, Chaucer entrusted him with power of attorney during the late 1370s. The 1380s were marked by political turmoil, with the 100 Years' War and the Peasants' Revolt shaking the foundations of governance. Chaucer's choice to write a tale of courtly love within the context of a notorious war aligns with the historical backdrop. Yet, like numerous early and Middle English writers, Chaucer sought to harmonize the coexistence of paganism and monotheism, and to reconcile ancient and contemporary ideas. This may explain his dedication of Troilus and Criseyde to a philosopher and an individual of esteemed morals. Regardless, an exploration of this narrative provides insight into the mindset of late 14th century England. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.